What's more important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus. I'm gonna give you this example. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur. He's such a boss.
He's a boss.
Look at that man. He's a boss.
Look at him.
He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man.
Look at him being at his kid's game.
But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man? You're not great.
You're
not great. God, you're not. That is triggering.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother? You're not a great dad, my nigga. You're an okay human.
I don't know why y'all brought me into this, because y'all already know what they're going to say. But anyway, let's talk about it. I got tagged in this video. I also see that it's going viral, where B. Simone is basically saying, at least this is what I got from it, that MLK can't be all that great if he was not great in his relationship. He can't be all that great as a dad, as a leader, as a CEO, as a businessman, if he was not great in his relationship. Now, the only reason why I actually can kind of see where B. Simone is coming from is because she said in this video that she's triggered, meaning that she seems to be speaking from some level of experience. And I do believe that if you've experienced somebody in a harmful way, you have no obligation to see them the way the rest of the world sees them. You have no obligation or responsibility to let everybody else's experience with that person override what experience you've had, meaning your experience is valid no matter what anybody else says or thinks, etc., etc. And even if B. Simone wasn't the one that got cheated on by MLK, it seems that she's at least taking on that experience from Miss Coretta Scott King, God rest her soul, by way of empathy, in which both of their experience would be valid. But does that make it universally true? Absolutely not. And the reason why I say that is because, and the only reason why I say that is because we let it be true here with MLK, or men in general, we have to let it be true with women as well. We have to let the sentiment be true that if you were bad in your relationship, if you didn't show up great in your romantic life, then that means everything else is compromised. And we already know there's a sentiment out there that says that. Ladies, if y'all heard it before, how are you a queen if you ain't got no king? Or let's make it a little bit more specific. How are you such a boss? How are you such an achiever? How are you such a go-getter when you couldn't go get the ring before you started making children? Y'all heard that before? How are you such a go-getter? You couldn't get the relationship status that you want even the current day. How are you such an achiever if you can't achieve the body that you want, whether it's bigger, smaller, taller, thicker, skinnier, etc., etc.? And I've always stood against that notion that just because you don't show up well in one area of your life, it compromises everything else. Even when it comes to the part where she said about as a dad, you're not a great dad because you're supposed to be modeling respect for a mom. I actually agree with that. But again, that's a slippery slope. Because mothers, let me ask you something. Is this universally true? That if you ever popped off on your baby daddy, if you ever disrespected him, called him out his name, got in your feelings, cheated because you was getting your lick back, well, you know, according to social media, cheating is okay so long as it's revenge cheating. So let's keep going. If you ever did anything where you were the villain in somebody else's story, did that invalidate you as a mother? Did that take away from all the time you spent with your babies? The fact that you carried them in your stomach, you nursed them from your body, you encouraged them, you loved them, you taught them, you disciplined them, you guided them, you taught them. Does that completely neutralize everything else that you've done? No. And if it's not true for you as a mom, it's not true for MLK or any man as a dad. If it's not true in a romantic capacity, that invalidates you or counts against you overall as a person, it cannot be true for men. So do I agree with her that Martin Luther King was not great and all of that kind of stuff? No, I think MLK was a great man, but he wasn't a perfect man. And he had a lot of things to work on. And man or woman, I don't think MLK was the only one. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll let y'all be good. Peace.